This is an example of a standard multiple choice where only one selection can be selected. So it's pretty straightforward. But right up here, you're going to see this hamburger symbol. There are some tutorial here, but this tutorial basically shows you how to answer it. It does not help you with the problem itself. Next is a notepad where students can take notes on and save and close their notes and go back and retrieve them. Next is a mark it for review, so if they're not sure, that they can mark it, and you can see up here that I've marked question number 1. And lastly, they can strike through certain text. This is where it appears that your alternative tools for students with certain disabilities, where those will be located. They also may be located up here. This is a standard math editing toolbar that is very common to entering numbers. Your number keys will work on the keyboard, but you can also click on these. For example, down here are the ones that could get confusing. So entering something like a fraction, you can see once I click that, I can enter a number in the top, select down below that, and enter another number. Same with exponents. Whoops, I just clicked a button and now I can get an exponent there. If I move over, yep, you can see as I click this, it'll by default give me the exponent. And these are the other two for parentheses and pipes. I'm not sure what they're called in math, but that's how these are working. The multiplication symbol is an asterisk. That might be something worth noting. Here is a true and false response. It's worth noting that a student can choose both true and false at the same time. Just a little thing to look out for. Here's another example of a user interface for the Smarter Balanced or Badger testing. I need to fill up a row. To do this, I just click on these. If I make a mistake, I can click it off and it will toggle backwards. In this question, I also have to drag numbers into boxes. Notice that I can drag these numbers anywhere, so it's very important that I get it near the box so that it goes in. If I make a mistake, I have to click on the blue delete button, then select the thing that I want to delete. If I go the other way and I select this and hit delete, you can see that it doesn't quite work. So I'm going to hit delete. That didn't work either. Now I'm moving it. So I want to make sure that that delete button goes from blue to gray, and now my mouse becomes a crosshair and I can delete the item that I touch. It will allow me just to fill in one of these rather than both. So make sure that students fill in all the answers appropriately. And I'm going to delete. So I turn it from blue to gray and delete. Much like the true and false, yes and no work the same way. I can choose both states of yes and no rather than either or. So this is something to watch out for. This is the user interface for the Connect Line tool. In order to use this, if I just start clicking in here, nothing will happen. I have to switch it from the blue state to the gray state. From here, I click once to make a point and drag and click again to make a line. If I want to extend this line, I have to click on that line or that point, drag up, click. Now it finalizes that. So I'm going to complete my square by clicking on the point and drawing over and clicking again to end the point. And I'll complete my square by doing the same thing. If I want to delete something, I have to turn this from blue to gray. Now my crosshairs, I can delete points, and I'll delete any associated lines with it. Here's another example of dragging digits into boxes. Again, I can drag my digit not even near the box, and I'm sure that won't register. So students need to get it close, and it will fill in. Lastly, if a student makes a mistake, we have to turn the delete button gray. Then my mouse becomes, my pointer becomes a crosshair, and I can delete unwanted digits. If I slide back over here, you can notice that I can drag in a digit, and my delete button changed its state back. Here's an example of a grid-based answer where I have a delete, add point, and a connect line button. In order to add a point, I'm going to turn it from blue to gray, and I can add points all over. If I want to delete, I have to change the state of the delete button from blue to gray, and now my pointer becomes a crosshair that I can use to delete these points. If I want to connect a line, I have to change the state of this button from blue to gray. Select one button to another, or just draw without using the add point. If I do delete one of these, it will delete the point and the line. In the delete state, it looks like I can delete anything that I touch. Here's an example of dragging coordinates onto specific points. It does not look like I can delete these, but I can reselect them and drag them wherever I would like. Here's an example where I'm asked to select the height of the liquid in this prism. So in order to do that, I would have to make sure that I click on the front facing face of this object. So if I click back here or on the top or off the side, nothing happens. But if I click on the front facing face, you can see that I can adjust the level to get the correct answer. This could be a little bit screwy because you can make your eye see it in two different ways. But if you tell students to click near the number but inside the object, it will work.